Hello, everyone. It's Writer's Room. Here are my top 10 most underrated superhero movies of all time, in my opinion. These are superhero films that might generally go unnoticed, got horribly trashed by critics, and might not be all that bad. On with the countdown. Number 10, Watchmen. 300 director Zack Snyder's adaptation of what's greatly considered the greatest comic of all time ain't too shabby. Could there be a better adaptation out there? Honestly, I don't think so. Watchmen is basically impossible to adapt correctly for a mainstream audience, and I think Zack Snyder captured some of the spirit of the novel exactly right, including surreal storytelling and visual exploration in a world of comic book characters. Round of applause, Zack. Number 9, Blade. Yeah, it has some really dumb moments, but this is a fun, semi cohesive movie that brought the Marvel Comics to the big screen. While it is not a great film, it's not a horrible one. It's okay. Movies are made to entertain, and I find this one pretty entertaining. It's often overlooked, and a lot of people hate it nowadays, so I think it deserves to be on this list. Number 8, Venom. This film was compared to Catwoman and Fant Four Stick. I sat down in that theater expecting complete garbage, and I got a B-plus movie. In terms of making a Venom movie without Spider-Man, this one did it the best way possible. I found Eddie Brock likable and interesting, and I was thoroughly entertained, especially with Eddie Brock and Venom's relationship. What's with the Venom hate, people? Give it some love. Number 7, Mystery Men. Yes, this is a real movie, and it's kind of great. It's gritty, funny, and fantastical. This movie was a box office bomb, and it definitely should not have been. This movie captures what it's like to read a Dark Horse comic very well, so congratulations, filmmakers, you made a kick-ass movie. Speaking of which, number 6, Kick-Ass. When I think of a movie that embodies why I love superheroes so much, like 5 movies come to mind. Batman 89, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2, The Avengers 2012, and Kick-Ass. This movie goes beyond understanding what it means to love comics. And by the way, Matthew Vaughn knows how to create a living, breathing comic book come to the screen. I really like this movie. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. Number 5, Batman Returns. Some people don't like this movie, and I don't know why. This is the second most forgotten Batman movie of all time, and I don't consider it a Batman movie. Technically, it's a Batman fairy tale, a visual gothic operatic symphony of monsters. Tim Burton used his outlet to make an art house horror film through the Batman franchise. I really love Batman Returns. If a Batman art house horror film sounds any fun, check this out. Number 4, Unbreakable. This movie's a masterpiece. The reason it's not higher is because it landed an audience. This movie has one of the scariest themes in cinema, destiny. What were you born to be? Were you born to die immediately and be a warning for the rest of the world, or were you born to be a murderer? This one got me thinking, and it's M. Night Shyamalan at his absolute best. Number 3, Spider-Man 3. No, it's not as good as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2, but it's not a bad follow-up to the franchise by any means, in my opinion. Not only is the movie considered one of the worst superhero movies of all time by most, but some hail it as one of the worst movies ever, period. Holy shit. I think this movie grasps what makes Spider-Man special and captures fantastical cheesiness that's very likable in this movie. The jazz scene, while everyone basically hates it, I think it's a funny spin-off of the Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head sequence from Spider-Man 2. So, no, I don't have a problem with this movie. Number 2, The Rocketeer. Joe Johnston, director of Captain America the First Avenger, and the director of this film, is a master storyteller when it comes to period pieces. The Art Deco style of this film is astounding, and may I add, the movie is a brilliant homage to the golden age of comics. This movie is always overlooked, and it's a brilliant piece of cinema. And this movie has 2 words in it. Alan Arkin. Check this out and give The Rocketeer some love. Now, this is number 1, just coming up next, in my opinion, is the most underrated superhero film of all time and might be one of the top 5 most underrated films of all time, in my opinion. Number 1, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I'm going to say it, this might be the greatest Batman film of all time. This isn't the greatest Batman movie with Batman in it, technically, of all time. That might have to go to The Dark Knight or Batman 89. But in terms of cinema, understanding what makes Batman special, right now I am going to make an analogy. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is to Spider-Man as Batman Mask of the Phantasm is to Batman. Batman turns something bad into something good in the comics and in film, and that's the point of his character. And he's the bravest superhero of all time, and courage embodies a hero. He can't fly, he doesn't have powers, he has courage, and that's something stronger than any of those combined. Thank you for watching my video. What's your favorite underrated comic book movie of all time? Writer's Room, out. And once again, thank you for watching.